Hello everybody, this is now part 2 for the fanfic that shall not be named. Let's see what this one shows, shall we? Pregnant Rarity, food play, stuffing, and prehensile tale. Ooh, looks like we're having some food sex today. Hope you guys aren't eating anything right now. Anyway, let's start. You're awoken by something soft and fuzzy brushing against your foot. Groggily, you look across the dark room, where the red lights of your alarm clock reach out at you. From its purchase on your nightstand, it informs you quietly that the time is 3:16 in the morning. It's not due to go off today. Saturday is your day of rest, and it slumbers slightly, blinking out of time changes. 3:17, 3:18, 3:19. Something brushes against your foot again. You roll over onto your side, expecting to see her indigo mane framing her sleeping figure, perhaps a kick of her foot in her sleep. Instead, you're greeted with the dark outline of her tail. You sit up, pulling aside the blankets. She curled up around them, running opposite to you. You can't see her face in the dark, but now that the blankets are aside, you can hear a soft sniffle. Her body twitches every now and then, shaking a little bit in each sniffle, with each sniffle. Wondering what's on her mind, you lean down, her little sobs getting louder as you approach, and move across the soft expanse of your shared mattress. Your eyes adjust slowly to being awake, and you can see her just as she sees you. You're tugging aside of the sheets, alerting her to your intentions. She covers her face with her pale hooves. Don't look. Just, please, go back to bed. It's nothing. You shift your weight, arm draping over her side, mindful of the bulge of her pregnant stomach as you work yourself into a comfortable position, on your side parallel to her curled form. You try to get into her eyes despite her protest, trying to figure out the source of her tears. Your hand runs a course gently up her stomach, tight and swollen at the very apex, but turning soft and squishy as it makes for her body. As your hand lingers, you feel a subtle gurgle in her stomach, eliciting more whimpering and sobbing from her. This again? You shift yourself, arms wrapping around her, pulling her small, swollen frame in close to yours. She gives up hiding the source of her sadness from you, burying her face in your arms, little snouts twitching with each sniffle as you stroke her hair and rub her tummy. You look down I don't know why it says her 2 times, face buried in her hair in your chest. It's gotten better, but the whole thing is painful for her. Well, no shit. It's 7 months earlier. She's just found out she's expecting, and after the initial surprise and happiness pass, you've both spent days discussing how things will change. She seems happy on the outside, but as the days pass and you return home for work late, her greetings are less energetic. She's been getting thinner. Her hugs haven't lasted as long. You've been to court the food around the house before. Wait, what? Oh, count. Whoops. Don't court the food. Count the food around the house before you leave for work, and discover she's been skipping meals. You decide to sit her down with one of her friends, knowing you'll be no good at this sort of thing. The confrontation is expected and explosive. In the end, she agrees with Twilight Sparkle that something has to change, but the end result is yours to oversee. Twilight puts you in charge, making sure she bulks up, getting emphasis on how important it is for a developing filly to have extra calories to draw upon. The first of your nightly sessions don't go well at first. Your large, prepared meal is welcomed by her, but she fills up quickly, stomach not used to such large proportions. Still, when she's eaten as much as she can, you scoop her up from the table unexpectedly. Well, what? Careful, darling. You'll drop us both. Put me down, I say. You shift her struggling form in your arms, carrying her away from the table and over the couch, nestled in the corner. Oh, this is most improper. Please set me down. Set me down. Set me down. Her cries of alarm have shifted to half giggling at this point, and her tail rubs up against your cheek playfully. Honestly, it's no better than kidnapping at this point. Set me down at once. Gently, you turn both of you around, sitting on the couch and lowering her into your lap, arms none too pleased by the effort of doing so in the controlled and careful manner that you choose to use. Once there, she almost immediately shifts her body, snuggling her head into your lap and rolling onto her side. You rub her swollen stomach with one hand, scratching behind her ears and with your other. Her front legs kick slightly as she happily nuzzles into your softly stiffening crotch. Oh, jeez. There we go, it's starting again. Well, my goodness, what do you have here? Did you get all of this just by from rubbing this little old tummy of mine? I have no idea your tastes were so... She struggles for a moment with a word befitting a lady. French word. I don't like French words. Your hand... Well, I'm just going to say it because, it's a reading. Rubenesque, I guess it says. I haven't told that I really don't like the French language. It's annoying. I'm sorry, French people, but I can't stand listening to it. And it said there's like a bunch of French words said through My Little Pony. I'm just like, oh, shut up. But no offense. Your hand ceases playing with her ear, and she playfully whimpers as she shifts her body up up your lap a little bit to place her head back up against it. Closer now. The hand that was playing across her swollen stomach begins to stroke her flanks, muscular and shapely. You remain this way for several minutes until she sighs, craning her neck up, bringing her face level to yours, and looking playfully out the corner of her eye at you. I know what you want. Yeah, I just turned her on. Her horn glows, and across the room, in the kitchen section, one of the cabinets opens. A bag of marshmallows float across to you as she rolls onto her back, subtly on her stomach and opening itself before the glow of her magic fades. And this ain't exactly food sex at the moment, but yeah, it has some sort of sexual thing inside of it. Just giving her freaking marshmallows. Man, I want those marshmallows. Why does she have to have freaking marshmallows? She lays her head back down on your lap and closes her eyes, opening her mouth. You pop in the first marshmallow, and she chews happily. By the end of the bag, the chewing was slowed, and she's obviously struggling to keep a smile on her face. Is this good? I certainly hope so. Not every man is lucky enough to have a lady cater to his fantasies. You smile and nod, hands rubbing a tight to bursting bulge in her tummy. Yeah, feeding you friggin' marshmallows, that's a fantasy. Sure. Her hooves reaches behind her, rubbing your own bulge through your jeans. And not only that, but I don't really want to have that fantasy of, screwing a pony, so... Yeah, no. I might have room for one more thing, maybe. If you can promise to keep this our little secret. If you can promise that we'll do it again. Time is... And then this is like later on, some days later, I guess. I don't know, maybe it's, I don't know. I'll just read it anyway. You'll figure it out by yourself. Time has made fools of you both, and you're back in the present. 8 months later. As work picked up, you've had less time to indulge her, but still, you've had your share of long nights on the couch, as she slowly gets better at keeping the marshmallows down. Yeah, now this is like just going through, just going through it. Now at the height of her pregnancy, her embarrassment seems to have flooded back to her. You've rolled over in the night to find her missing on more than one occasion, cravings getting in the better of her. Each time you've wandered into the kitchen, snuggling up against her warm back, trying your best to be supportive as she indulges in her private shame. Even your encouragement hasn't been enough to undo the lifetime of careful maintenance she's put into her figure. You scoop her up in your arms, carrying her out of the bedroom and into the hall. What? No, please, no. I'm so tired of it. I don't want to be like this anymore. I know it's all for my health, or the baby's health, but I know you've been looking at me less too. You stop in your tracks, baffled by this last bit. Could she really think that? Haven't you communicated otherwise? Sure, you're not good with words, but when When has that stopped her from figuring out your intentions in the past? Yeah, it's Rarity. I mean, I don't know if I was smart enough to know that. In the story, I'd probably know that she would be all like, "Oh no, my weight. Oh no, the baby. Oh no, I'm eating too much." But anyway, continuing on. You look down at her, curled in your quickly tired arms. From her reclining position, she stares up at you in the dark. Her azure eyes, watery and reddened from a night of sniffling and crying at your feet. Well, is it true? It's true, isn't it? I'm an old, ugly, fat. I'm just so. She bursts into tears again. Isn't going well. Carefully, you maneuver around the dark kitchen, arms too full of whimpering chubby pony to flick on a light switch. This isn't what you wanted. I know. This isn't the tummied pony you fell in love with. Her hair catches the door handle of the refrigerator, halting her progress as she stubbornly looks up at you for an answer, unwilling to let you move further without some affirmation of her secret fears. Your mind races for the right answer. Surely she was beautiful when you met, tight, muscular, lean, but since then you've seen entirely different sides of her, sides that have nothing to do with body or shape. You've cursed the original shallow expectations, and together you've even learned just how much you love the way her more well-figured body jiggles as she walks, the way her saddles fit so tightly around her now thick flanks. Your reply is sudden. You turn your body, and hers with it, forcing her tail to open the door to the refrigerator. Light spills out into the room, assaulting your eyes as your warm and oh wow, I'm screwing this up real horribly. Arms and legs finally give out an awkward load they're carrying, and you have to slowly move toward the kitchen floor. It's the work of only a few seconds, but it's surprisingly graceful. She's on her back, lowered as gently as you could before you met the ground next to her, pulling her in for a hard kiss. Cold assaults your back, and you pull her closer, shielding her from the sudden frigid onslaught. Your hands work magically up and down her stomach, sliding closer to her womanhood, and she stifles an unexpected yelp as you begin to rub her down there. She breaks the kiss. Oh God, why am I so sick? What? Do you really, you like this? All of it? You say nothing, too busy kissing the side of her neck. Instead, you respond by delicately slipping a finger into her, causing her to stiffen in reply. You don't care either way? You really? She rolls herself over onto your lap, mindful of the erection pressed to be freed from your boxers. The moment she's there, your hands are caressing her lovely stomach, paunched out. She looks over into the refrigerator, still open. It guides your throbbing member out of your boxers with one hoof as she rises up with the other. Carefully, she slides down on top of it, free. What the heck? God dang it, man! Freed hoof, reaching into the fridge at her side and withdrawing a slice of cake you saved for her from a birthday party at work. Silently, you file away a reminder to thank the kindly old receptionist who sent you home with it as she holds the plate up. Face framed from the side by the light in the icebox. Is this what you like? Her stomach gurgles again as she tries to tease you, and she looks away, embarrassed. Gently you try to sit up, without pulling out of her, gripping your thick, soft flanks for aid as you smile at her. You're stopped by her bulging stomach, a few inches from the cake, but your efforts make her smile. She takes a hoof and carefully scoops the cake into her mouth, raising an eyebrow at you. You shift her weight in reply, shifting yourself in her as much as you can. She shudders a bit and takes a hoofful of cake into her mouth. Thrust. Yep, here's food sex for you. Is anyone feeling a little pleasured? Because I sure ain't. I'm actually pretty disgusted. Oh my God, this freaking reading, man. Another hoofful. Chocolate icing dribbles down her cheek as her eyes roll backwards in pleasure. Her private fantasy being indulged in the dark of your little kitchen. It hangs from the side of her mouth for a moment before slashing down onto your chest thrust. Abandoning a ladylike procedures. Hold on. She opens her mouth and stuffs the remaining cake in. You grip her chest as you thrust hard, bouncing her up and down on your hard cock. As she struggles to swallow in between moans, more icing falls into your body. Into your body. What? I thought it was onto. Okay, never mind. She rolls off of you, desperate to get all the icing from your skin. Her hot tongue works its way up and down your chest and stomach, smearing the chocolate as you roll around on the floor, trying to get into her womanhood. Each time you get close, she shifts slightly, unaware of your intentions. She, too engrossed in the icing, now coating your lower half as she licks it off. She finally makes her way to your erection, hungry mouth clomping down on it. Her mouth bobs up and down as she gulps and slurps at your rock-hard dick. Finally getting her still enough, you part her moist lower lips, dipping your tongue in for a treat of your own. Oh, tasty. Yay, pony pussy. Her gasp around your cock feels amazing, and she jerks her head off to avoid choking. Actually, I think that was her actual, lips, her freaking mouth, but whatever. It's I don't know why, but when I read this, it's all over the place. I can't really ever picture where I'm positioning or anything, so I'm just for once I'm at her freaking area, and then she somehow starts sucking me off, and I'm like, what? Are we 6-9ing? And then we are somehow she's on top of me riding me, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm just the wonder sex, holy crap. You push your tongue in deeper. See, look, I really am actually licking her part, but I don't get it. I guess we're 69ing now. You push your tongue in deeper, licking both folds of her labia, before pushing young tongue into her and wriggling it around. She moans, her insides moistening even more in response. Fingers, dearie. Come on now. You've those lovely hands. Use them more. You know I love it when you use them. Slowly you slip her 2 fingers in and out. Then 3. Her hooves rub her stomach madly, sending tremors of jiggling fat from her chest all the way down to her flanks. More. Working carefully, you manage to get 4 fingers into her, and she throws her head back. You lean in, tongue working her clit, and her moans turn into screams of pleasure. She's squeezing hooffuls of her chubby chest fat as her back legs kick wildly. Wetness trickles down your arm, as she comes in waves that rock her body from top to bottom. You watch as she shakes, her chest and stomach wobbling and jiggling uncontrollably. As the orgasm continues to rock her, she pushes her flank towards you, and you grip tight. Your hands disappear in her immense, soft, pillowy cheeks. She continues writhing from another good 10 seconds, before finally growing still and managing out an exhaust sound. Okay. You grip her ass in reply. Spank me. Oh, spank me. I've been so naughty. I love that part. I ate your cake. I ate your cake. Oh my god, this freaking thing is so stupid. Oh my god. Your hand smacks her ample bottom hard, and her abundant flesh responds in whirling motion. Jiggling madly, you swat her again as she wiggles her butt in the air. Then again, and again. Each time she wriggles across the floor towards the cabinet. Once there, she pulls out a bag of marshmallows. Another swat of her ivory expanse, eliciting a yelp. Please, no more. I'll be good. I'll do what you want. I'll eat them. She looks at the bag, popping one in her mouth. Her eyes half lidded as she chews. She takes another hoofful of marshmallows into her mouth, lowering her nose, posterior still in the air, invitingly. I know it's unladylike to eat from the bag She can't finish before you penetrating her hard. Her guilt assuages her. She lifts her flanks into the air for you, lowering her nose into the bag, popping marshmallows into her mouth, 2 or 3 at a time. She's gulping them down as you slam her, flanks jiggling and quivering like seas of flesh with each thrust. Her belly rubs against the floor, her back legs kicking and buckle or what? And buckle, bringing her to her knees as you keep pounding. As she finishes off the bag, your thrusting slows down. No! Keep going. Don't stop, you fiend! She scrambles, bucking her hips back and forth to stimulate thrusting, her front legs occupied in pushing aside the contents of the cabinet. She produces another bag and rips it open with her teeth. Geez, how many freaking marshmallows do we have? Spitting out the plastic and continuing to put hooffuls of marshmallows into her mouth as you return to the quick and pounding pace you were at. Your hand reaches around her thick leg and you begin to stroke her clit, producing a muffled choking noise. With a cough and sputter, she manages to gulp down the 3 marshmallows she had in her mouth, cheeks still puffed out like some sort of comic squirrel as she looks at you over her shoulder in the light. Not so sudden, darling. The girl mustn't be rushed. You smile at her, certainly taking her time, as she stuffed down 4 or 5 more marshmallows at once. Another empty bag to join the other 2. This time, you don't stop slamming into her, your rhythm picking up as she reaches the end of your stamina. Feel her clench around you, her moans no longer muffled by the mouthfuls of sweets. Her hooves kicking and bucking as she comes once more. In moments you're coming to, flooding her with your hot seed. You'll lay there, panting and exhausted. When she slides off of your cock, she lays there on her back, the white coat shining, face illuminated by the soft light of the still jarred refrigerator door. The light catches the white bits of marshmallows trickling down her face, and the white seed spilling out of her from between her legs. Her horn glows and another bag floats from the cabinet into your hands. The bag glows once more, ripping open. You put a marshmallow in your mouth, leaning into her, sharing it with her. Her bites are hungry, passionate, and when there's no marshmallows left, she's sucking on your tongue for the flavor in your mouth, running hers all around your teeth. While she works her mouth, your hands are buried themselves in the expanse of her flesh. You lean back and put another one into your mouth, leaning back into her, free hand gripping the full bag. There's plenty more left. There in the darkness of your kitchen, softly illuminated, she lets herself go, happily pursuing that private indulgence in the hand of the man who reserved judgment, who loves her, who wants her to be happy. She smiles up at you playfully. Very charming, very well, Prince Charming. Shall we see if you can put the princess back to bed with a kiss? You pop another marshmallow in your mouth and lean in. And then kiss, and then that's part 2 for everyone. I can't eat marshmallows now. Thanks, person who made this. I'm going to go throw up now. Later.